Congress, with two major flashpoints emerging over the Bharat Jodo Yatra and the aftermath of actor Richa Chadda's Galwan gaffe. Today, controversy erupted over the Bharat Jodo Yatra led by Rahul Gandhi. BJP's Amit Malviya tweeted out a video of the yatra from Khargone in Madhya Pradesh, claiming Pakistan Zindabad slogans were raised. Amit Malviya also shared a screenshot of the video posted by the Congress party in Madhya Pradesh and said that the post was deleted by the Congress unit after they realized that pro-Pakistani slogans were being yelled at. The Congress has dismissed the charges, claiming the video has been doctored by the BJP as it is spooked by the rising popularity of the yatra. Congress leader Jairam Ramesh said that they will take legal action against the BJP and are ready for such tactics. Meanwhile, after actor Richa Chadda came under fire for her Galwan says hi tweet, mocking the army's pitch that it is ready to take back Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, Congress leader and actress Nagma claims the actor did not demean the armed forces. She in fact bagged a tweet of an ex-army officer who said that Chadda was not mocking the sacrifice of the soldiers but targeting a political statement given by a serving general to benefit the BJP in elections. And replying to the retired army officer, Nagma tweeted, "Quite right." Nagma later backtracked, claiming she has the utmost respect for the armed forces and their sacrifice in Galwan. As we are in the thick of election season, the Congress and the BJP find themselves in an escalating war of words. But like in the past, has the Saffron Party been able to corner the Congress over these two flashpoints? That's the question that I ask on the panel this evening. Geeta Bhatt, academician, Supriya Shrinate, spokesperson of the Congress, Nasir Abdullah, actor, Ravi Rai, film director, Lieutenant General KJ Singh is a defense analyst. Ms. Shrinate, I'm going to begin with you. What is the Congress party's stand on what Richa Chadda has tweeted in the context of Galwan? Supriya, if you can hear me.
Yes. Can you please repeat the question?
Yes. I'm going to begin the debate with you with the question that what exactly is the Congress party's stand on what Richa Chadda had tweeted in the context of Galwan, where she said Galwan says hi.
No, I'm sorry. I don't hold a brief for Richa Chadda, but as an Indian and as like every Indian, I do. And I very solemnly want to know what has been done about the 20 brave hearts who lost their lives. Why does the Prime Minister say koi ghusa hua nahi hai? Because what the Prime Minister says is exactly being mirrored by the Chinese PLA. And how ironical is this that India's Prime Minister and Chinese PLA are speaking the same language. And when we say that nobody has entered our territory and the fact that we have retreated from our patrolling points and have made those buffer zones, I think a question will be asked, and that very important question is that why are we demeaning the supreme sacrifice of our armed forces, their valor, their courage? Why are we doing that? And this is being done by the ruling party. The PMO, the MEA and the Defense Ministry are constantly contradicting each other as far as China is concerned. And I will say the one last thing and then end my statement. The Prime Minister was supposed to teach China a lesson. You know what lesson was taught? China for the last 2 years has become India's largest trading partner. What are they being rewarded for? Are we funding the Chinese incursion by making them our largest trading partner? All the app ban and all that was nothing but hogwash. Okay. That is something that I continue to ask, and I will. Yes. They have 1,000 square kilometers of our land under their seizure. What about that?
Since you head also the Congress party's media unit and decide the line that the party takes, there has been multiple statements that have been made by your party leaders, including Nagma and others, who have in a way bagged Richa Chadda when she said Galwan says hi. That is being seen as mocking the martyrs. And now you have taken a turn in which you are questioning the government instead as to what they did for those martyrs and yes.
No, I completely dispute you. I disregard what you say and I vehemently disagree. As the social media chairperson of the Congress party, I issued a statement and I said, I do not need lessons in valor and courage of my armed forces from somebody who does not even hold Indian citizenship. And I also very strongly asserted that the supreme sacrifice of 20 brave hearts was brushed under the carpet when the Prime Minister lied to this country by saying nobody has entered our territory.
Okay,
why does the Prime Minister not ask the question? 1 second. 1,000 square kilometers of our land has been taken over by the Chinese. You are going to turn around my statement to me. Don't indulge in mischief.
So your
and
criticism...
I will say why you should not indulge in mischief. Because the BJP is doing that.
Okay.
Your show was to be on a concocted, distorted video that the BJP put out. That
yes,
was the brief given to me.
we'll ask that question as well. We'll ask that question as well. But let Lieutenant General KJ Singh come in on this.
And
because
actually, Maria, with the greatest respect I have for you as a journalist, you know what today's primetime show is? Today's primetime show is the big statement from India's Union Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, who has said 2002 में सबक सिखाने के बाद गुजरात में अब स्थायी शांति है.
Okay.
Is he accepting
Lieutenant General
in full
KJ Singh
public glare in a public rally?
Ma'am, I'm coming back to you. Ma'am, I'm going to come back to you also on that tweet that was put out by Amit Malviya, which you have questioned as your party, and also have said
also
that you will be
of India's Home Minister.
Yes. Okay, Lieutenant General KJ Singh, respond to that point being made by Supriya Shrinate, please.
See, Maria, thanks a lot. Jai Hind. I want to steer clear of the political part of this controversy. I know General Upendra Dwivedi well. He is commanding the Northern Army, the most challenging formation, the most challenging command today that any general can aspire to. So, General Upendra Dwivedi, who's got 38 years of service, made a statement regarding his competency, his remit, his specialization. Now, any army commander will follow the government's orders, whatever orders they are. In Kargil, we fought with whatever weapons we had. 65 war, we had big asymmetry, still our armed forces fought. No general said, I will not fight. In 62, Shaitan Singh fought till the last man, last round. So Upendra Dwivedi has made a similar kind of statement. Where is the need to respond on that statement? Richa Chadha happens to be 36 years old, and General Dwivedi has got 38 years of service, hard-earned service. And see, you're talking about Colonel Santosh Babu, who at the age of 37 made this supreme sacrifice. He was temporarily sent there. His battalion was to de-induct to his home station, yet he took up this challenge. So don't get into politics part of it. And the issue that Supriya raised, I would just respond with one very brief comment about losing this territory. There is a great difference in various perceptions. Territory has been lost over last couple of decades, starting from 60s. Now, who has lost how much and why? That all needs to be probably debated separately. Whether our claims were right or wrong, that also is in the realm of discussion. So, social media is hardly a platform to do this kind of discussion. It can be done in a parliamentary debate. People can seek a special sort of meeting and do it. But my appeal to all actors and social media activists is, please don't trivialize what an army commander says after 38 years of
Yes, Ravina, that exactly is my point here. That is this also an indicative of a culture of, Bollywood stars perhaps being tone deaf? They have to be far more careful about what they say, and even if they are questioning army, they cannot trivialize it by saying Galwan says hi, and then later apologize and say that you have immense respect for the armed forces.
Maria, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, the tweet that I read in the morning wasn't shocking to me, because since post 2014 or a little before that, there is this band, a group, a breed that I call a species. I mean, let's come to the brass tack that they don't like Modi, they don't like BJP. And it's a set of 12 people from Bollywood, not the entire Bollywood, and some 7, 8 journalists, the Khan Market journalists, you also know who they are, you know. So we've been hearing out all these things and we've been reading out all these things since a very long time. But end of the day, my only point there is it hurts. It's getting unbearable now, you know. Every time, you know, keep. If you don't like Modi, outvote him, na. I mean, who says he's not bigger than criticism or he's not bigger than democracy? I mean, whatever Amit Shah said in the rally, he'll be outvoted. I mean, people won't vote for him. You leave that. That is not the topic today. But I mean, these people, they say Galwan says hi. If you ask them, they would never, Maria, talk about Akshay Chin. They will never ever. They will never talk about Doklam. But Galwan says hi. If you hold them and ask them, अच्छा बताइए कि गलवान में क्या हुआ था? क्या हुआ था कि it was a hand-to-hand combat, didn't our soldiers, didn't our jawans push them back? Now they have their own narrative to that, you know. And these set of people, आपकी क्रिकेट की टीम चेंज होती रहती है, ये सेट जो है 2014 से चेंज ही नहीं हुआ.
So you are essentially saying that this is about a politics that they believe in. Nasir Abdullah, you know, the larger issue that has been raised by many Congress leaders is because they were questioning Akshay Kumar because he had questioned Richa Chadha. And Akshay Kumar is seen as pro-establishment.
Sure. Yeah, look, as I said earlier on the channel, that here is the deal. Richa made an unnecessary, unrequired statement. At best, she was being maybe sarcastic. Please don't interrupt me. And then what happens is that people overreact and say, oh my God, she's saying this, what she may have meant. And we should ask her what she may have meant. Be careful, don't forget, lessons learned, you know, etc., etc. Because what happened there was very serious. 20 of our soldiers died, some of them as young as 18 years old. I knew you would interrupt me. I don't want to count. I don't want to count. Yeah? So this is here what it is. Suddenly everybody jumps to the conclusion that she's anti-national, she's mocking the martyrs, etc., which nobody in their right minds, even if they are a bit demented, they would not say that. I don't know how they bring out these things that, oh, Modi haters, this. Where are we going? We are going to Modi haters? This is about a scenario that happened, a very serious thing about which we still have a confusion what happened, because the Prime Minister made a statement at the end of it. It doesn't matter. The point is, she made a statement, she apologized because of the reaction there was on it. She did not mean, I repeat, she could not have meant to insult the martyrs. Who in their minds,
so I mean, then in that case, this entire issue according to you should be put to rest, but the BJP is saying and questioning the Congress party here.
Absolutely. Richa Chadha is a nobody.
Okay.
Richa Chadha is a nobody, really.
Okay,
she's
then
an actress.
Geeta Bhatt, talking specifically about that tweet that has been put out.
Hang on.
Okay.
Kangana Ranaut said independence was achieved in 2014. Independence was achieved in 2014. What a terrible statement to make. Everybody was shocked.
Yes.
So that means all the people from 1947, Gandhi and everybody were idiots.
Yeah.
So you know, they make these stupid statements.
That specific point then now
this.
that everything is being linked now to her politics, that is also being linked to Bharat Jodo. And then in Bharat Jodo, a video has been put out by the BJP IT cell in which they say that there were certain slogans that were shouted. What are these linkages that are being built?
Well, you see, one thing is for very sure that, people who are in public life or those who are celebrities, when there is a particular, excellence they have in a particular field. But if they try to move out from that field and, try to venture out in commenting, especially when it comes to people, to our security forces, our brave men and now even women in uniform who are, on the line defending the country and keeping all the citizens safe. It is something, it is definitely a matter of concern for which people are going to question them. So it is important that when you are, and this lady in question, it seems that this is not the first time that this kind of a sarcastic remark has been made. Such a remark she also made for Wagah border, saying that it is the biggest circus in the country. It is the greatest circus in the country, although she was shooting over there. So these kind of comments, when coming out from those who are in public life, are definitely going to get a reaction. And that is something which I don't think any organization, whether political, non-political, should come out and defend in any way. We are saying that, why is it that we are not talking about the defending those, what happened at a particular situation. If it is, you see, if such a senior officer of the army, if he's giving a statement, it was with respect to the defense minister, who earlier had mentioned that we are going to take POK.
But her statement, Supriya, is being linked to Bharat Jodo Yatra, in which the Congress party's video, which was put out, allegedly had some slogans that were shouted, and apparently that was deleted, is what is being alleged by the BJP. So what exactly is the truth there?
No, so firstly, I don't understand why don't we have BJP representation unless the filmmaker and the lady here are BJP spokespersons. I don't understand why the show does not have BJP representation. As the chairperson of social media and digital platforms, I have said this before on social media, I'm saying it again on your channel. The BJP is absolutely rattled by the astounding success of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We had expected them to stoop low. But the script is old. The script is done to death. They've got a lot of filmmakers to espouse their causes. They should go to some of these filmmakers, get some new scripts. ये बहुत घिसी पिटी पुरानी script हो गई. इनको हाजमे के लिए भी पाकिस्तान चाहिए होता है. You think a Bharat Jodo Yatra, which has already crossed 8 states, there would be a single slogan of anti-India or pro-Pakistan? You really think so? It has not been in 8 states. Suddenly in Madhya Pradesh, somebody would say that. I mean, the ground from beneath their feet has shifted, but their mental trauma is quite visible. And I hate to say this, some of the senior leaders of the BJP sharing doctored, concocted videos. What has this come to? Are they peddlers of fake news? Are they 2 rupee trolls? What has Indian democracy stooped to as far as the BJP is concerned? Is this even a debate? They should be called out for spreading fake news. I have read out a statement from nobody but the number 2 in the government, India's Home Minister, saying 2002 sabak sikhane ke baad Gujarat mein sthayi shanti hai. You don't want to debate this? You think that's not important? You think that's not admission that 2002 riots were state managed?
Supriya,
what are you talking about?
Is
what
the
are
Congress
these fake
party
news peddlers going to get out of me?
Okay, is the Congress party planning to stop at just that tweet where you have said that it is a fake video, or will there be more action that you plan to take against that video that you say it is
Maria,
fake?
I'm a little amused. You must have seen the track record of Congress's media department or the social media department. We don't stop at criticism. We don't stop at retorting with truth. We take them to the cleaners, we make them apologize, we make them delete their tweets. You wait and watch.
Okay.
That's all that I will say.
Geeta Bhatt,
themselves into a sorry
the
pool
point here is
of
that
fake
this
videos.
yatra has traveled
point.
8 states, and there have been several news points around it which has been created. Criticism has come from the BJP on multiple questions related to Rahul Gandhi. But the point here is the BJP rattled then what is being said by the Congress? Geeta Bhatt?
Well, I think it is not a question of being rattled, but the way this yatra has been continuing across the various states, time and again, there are evidences which are coming out in the media from which it looks that there are particular, celebrities who are being brought in these rallies, and This is what is being, being alleged, that they are being paid for doing so. And if it is so, and if it is not so, then of course, as the Congress spokesperson is saying that they are going to the court and they are going to, teach the political party a lesson. This is something, it will come out in the open, that whether there was a truth behind it, or whether this is just an allegation.
Come in for a minute.
But the point here is that if it is really making such an impact, in the through the state through which this Bharat Jodo Yatra is going on, I was in Hyderabad at one such point when there was this rally, and I also saw some part of it. So, but the point is that there was a by-election there at that time, near that time, and what was the result over there, we know. So, electorate, how is the electorate is taking the Bharat Jodo Yatra, that is something in the coming time we are going to see that.
So, any success of any yatra,
Can I please come
Supriya,
in for a minute?
has to be translated into electoral gains.
Can I? In fact, I was going to tell my fellow panelist, it would have done her soul a lot of good had she joined the Bharat Jodo Yatra. She would have felt that the real India is out of the idiot boxes and social media and is really full of love. She would have felt some of it. But anyways, she missed an opportunity. She can join us anytime later. We are going to walk all the way up to Kashmir and we'll hoist the tricolor in Srinagar. That said,
Can I make a point?
it's quite bizarre.
Yes, Mr. Nasir Abdullah, I'm going to come to you.
One second, sir. The BJP wants to talk about containers that we live in. They want to talk about Rahul Gandhi, what he wears, what he eats, where is he sleeping. They don't want to talk about jobs. They don't want to talk about high prices. They don't want to talk about women's security. They don't want to talk about low wages. What do they want to talk about? Every issue to distract people from the issues that really matter. And may I dare say, I hold no brief for Bollywood. I have no love lost for them. But I will only say, there are poster boys of Bollywood and poster girls of Bollywood. Mr. Anupam Kher before 2014 was making his driver cycle to work because petrol prices were going up. Today, petrol has passed 100. He doesn't squeak a word. Sadi ke Mahanayak ke muh par tape laga hua hai, not a word. Is that not hypocrisy? Are they not intimidated? Are they not scared of the dirty tricks that the BJP employs? Ask them in person, ask them in private without the cameras, they will tell you the truth.
Ravi Rai, will you respond? When we say that there are people who have joined in this yatra, who are showing their political affiliation. So, on the other side also, you have those actors who have shown their political affiliations.
No, but tell me one thing, Maria.
Will one of them have the courage to ask, how did 137 people die in Morbi? एक बंदे के अंदर दम है पूछने का, मोरबी में 137 लोगों की मौत हो गई, उसका जिम्मेदार कौन है? एक कोई पूछ सकता है? पूछ सकते हैं आप? हिम्मत है आपकी? पूछेंगे? चौकीदार और क्लर्क को अरेस्ट किया हुआ है,
हिम्मत छोड़िए ना
137 लोगों की मौत हुई है, हिम्मत है आपकी?
मैडम सुनिए तो, अरे नहीं है मैडम, अरे मैडम हिम्मत आप लोगों की है, अरे मैडम हिम्मत आप लोगों की है, इसीलिए तो भारत को स्वीप कर रहे हो आप लोग, हिम्मत आप लोगों की है, इसीलिए तो पूरा भारत आपको वोट कर रहा है।
ट्रोल बने रहिए, अच्छी बात है, आप ट्रोल बने रहिए,
ठीक है। और बाहर सुनिए, एक
आप ट्रोल बने रहिए।
हाँ, तो आप क्या हैं? आप क्या हैं? आप क्या हैं?
हिम्मत होगी
नहीं तो आप क्या हैं?
डिबेट पे आकर बात करिएगा। आप पॉलिटिकल पर्सन नहीं है ना, तो आप मुझसे बहस
नहीं
मत
मैडम,
करिए। You are not a BJP.
Okay, let him respond. Supriya,
either you accept you are a BJP spokesperson,
Supriya, let him speak,
don't
please.
argue with me.
Yes,
I'm
Ravi
sorry,
Rai,
Maria.
quickly. Yes, please.
You cannot pit me against some petty filmmaker.
Okay, Ravi Rai, yes,
Maria,
make
can I
your
come
point.
now?
Yes.
Let him
You put
speak.
me in combat with
Maria,
BJP.
can
Can you
I
answer
come?
the
Yeah,
question, why is
Maria,
BJP
can I
not
come
here
now?
on this show?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Ravi Rai.
No. Yeah, Maria, now listen to me. If I love my Prime Minister, do I become a troll? Do I become a BJP spokesperson? No. I love the man because 70 साल जिस गवर्नमेंट ने हमें बेवकूफ बनाया 370 लेके 48 घंटे में 370। आप चुप रहिए, मैं बोल रहा हूँ। मारिया, टेल हर टू शट अप।
No.
मारिया, जस्ट टेल हर टू शट अप।
यहाँ पर आके बेवकूफी की बातें नहीं करते। You mind your
Maria,
tongue,
will you
mister?
tell her?
आप होंगे उनके
Will you
भक्त,
tell her?
मुझसे बदतमीजी मत करिएगा, सोचिएगा भी मत मुझसे बदतमीजी करने की।
अरे
भक्त
मैडम,
वहाँ दिखाया करिए,
दुनिया में
मुझसे
सबसे जो
बदतमीजी आगे
बदतमीज
करने की
आदमी
कोशिश
होगा
मत
ना,
करिएगा।
दुनिया में जो सबसे,
शट अप मत करिए।
अरे मैडम,
हाँ,
दुनिया
ठीक
में जो
है, बहुत
सबसे
अच्छी बात
बदतमीज,
है।
अरे सुनो तो
आप
सही,
BJP
All right,
के-
बोलती जाती है,
Ravi
बोलती जाती है,
Ravi
बोलती
Rai ji,
जाती
thank you
है।
so
मत
much.
करें।
Supriya,
आप
please
दो
just
रुपए के
20
टोल
seconds for
के
Mr.
ऊपर
Ravi Rai
व्यवहार
and then I
करना
wrap this
करिए।
debate. Ravi Rai, quickly 20 seconds for you.
Yeah.
Why should he have the last
So
word
my
like
point,
you?
I'm saying,
Why should
the
you
point
wrap the
today,
debate?
that madam ये बोलने नहीं देगी. Maria, this woman
Okay,
will not
okay,
let
okay,
anybody
okay,
speak.
please.
But she'll go on.
Please make your point
she'll
quickly.
Go on,
I
she'll
have
go
just
on
20
pushing
seconds.
Pappu, pappu,
20
pappu,
seconds,
pappu.
please.
Yes, Maria. Yes, Maria. My only point there was that today we were supposed to discuss Richa's tweet. Fine. And my only point there is that these tweets we've been hearing since a very long time. And there is a hidden agenda there. Whether a Rafale lands in India, it's a big mockery. Whether a Kathua, I remember Kathua, these girls were holding placards saying, oh, we are ashamed to be Hindus. But today, if you hold one of them and ask them, ki, what is the status of Kathua, they know zilch about it. They do not know anything, but every morning you see a tweet which has an agenda in it, which is nothing wrong. If there are BJP trolls, there are also anti-BJP trolls. We have to take them. But आप मोदी से नफरत करो, लेकिन आर्मी से और देश से मत करो.
All right. On that
My
note,
only
thank you
point
so
is
much.
that,
Ravi
because
Rai,
that
Lieutenant
hurts
General
you
KJ Singh, Supriya Shrinet, Geeta Bhatt and Nasir Abdullah, thank you so much for your time. Shifting focus to our second debate, and ahead of the MCD and Gujarat elections, the Aam Aadmi Party finds itself in the middle of another corruption storm.
बनाने थे क्लासरूम, बना रहे थे बार रूम।
ये सारी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के हेडक्वार्टर में इनकी एफआईआर वहीं लिखी जाती है, इनकी चार्जशीट वहीं लिखी जाती है, इनकी विजिलेंस रिपोर्ट वहीं लिखी जाती है।
This time, the celebrated education model of the Delhi government is under the scanner after a report from the Directorate of Vigilance claims irregularities and corruption in the construction of over 2,400 classrooms in 193 schools. The main point of contention is inflated costs for the construction of schools, which allegedly drained excessive resources from the government's coffers. The report claims a scam of 1,300 crore has also recommended a detailed investigation by a specialized agency. The BJP has once again trained its guns at its principal opponent in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi elections, accusing the Aam Aadmi Party government of raising the cost of contracts by over 53%, even projecting toilets as classrooms. The Aam Aadmi Party, meanwhile, has once again accused the BJP of conspiring to defame the party, claiming the Saffron Party itself scripted the vigilance report. Let me give you an overview of the stunning charges that have emerged from this report. Charge 1, that the tendering of high-value projects took place without detailed estimates. Charge 2, a project of over 989 crore was cleared without sufficient time for bidders. The charge 3 that is there in the vigilance report is that financial liabilities were created without administrative approvals, and payments took place over and above the tendered value to the contractors. Charge 5 is that there has been duplication of work and double payments were made to contractors, and the duplication of work was listed at higher rates under upgradation work. Post-tender changes were also made in contracts that was done after suggestions from private players. The charge is also this, that post-tender changes were resulted in additional cost of over 205 crores, and that contracts worth over 42.5 crore in 5 schools were cleared without tenders. Over 1,200 toilets were constructed instead of 116 at an extra cost of 37 crore. So it's Liquorgate, massage gate, and now classroom gate against the Aam Aadmi Party. Can the party still claim it is a victim of political conspiracy? Joining me on the show, Vineet Goenka, who's the spokesperson of the BJP, and Irshan Trivedi is the political analyst. Before I bring Irshan, I can see Vineet joining us. Vineet, it seems to be a conspiracy a day, a scam a day in the run-up to the MCD elections. The point being made by the Aam Aadmi Party government is that why are these reports coming out in the media first, and the BJP leaders seem to know about it much before the Delhi's education minister.
Maria Ram Ram to you, to my co-panelists and all the audience who are watching this particular debate at this hour. Unfortunately, the visiting Chief Minister of Delhi, he visits Delhi less and spends time more outside. So he is not able to read the reports. This particular report was submitted in the month February 2020. I'm talking about February 2020. So it is more than 27 months this report has been submitted by his own department. It's not a department which is of central government, his own department. And there are 4 allegations. You read 2 and I'll read 2 more. One is that there are several procedural lapses. 2, there is tamper with the tender process. Third, there is a role of private person who was not appointed in any capacity as considered, and the name has been mentioned as to be Babar and Babar Associate. Extra constitutional agencies were running the administration and dictating the terms and conditions of the officers to the officers and entire administration, both at policy level as well as the execution level. The private person not only threatened, also was meddling into affairs. Now this is what Aam Aadmi Party does. In the liquor gate also we saw that there were people who were involved, the people who are not supposed to be there in the part of the discussion.
All these charges against the Aam Aadmi Party has been there in the public domain for the last 3 years, because the CVC received a complaint in 2019 regarding these alleged irregularities and cost overrun. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party says that it's essentially politically motivated, that all these reports are in fact being drafted by the BJP.
It's very simple. In the case of Arvind Kejriwal, who happens to be a sympathizer of the rapist, and we always see them with rapists, be it the Nirbhaya rapists whom they allegedly rewarded or awarded certain things. Then one of their elected representative whose relative are also involved or accused in rapists, or now you saw this postcode. So they spend more time with rapists rather than the classroom in the education.
You have not responded to my question. I want to understand from you, Irshan Trivedi. Irshan Trivedi, is it becoming increasingly difficult for the Aam Aadmi Party to explain these multiple allegations of scam that is coming against it? The liquor policy is under the radar. The school, the classrooms have been questioned. The entire education model is now under the scanner.
See, basically what I'm thinking is, BJP has lost ground on MCD, because, they are just trying, they are so desperate to frame Aam Aadmi Party in one by another allegations. And by that, they are just trying to put, because they don't have anything to say from MCD part. They are just they are on a fail part on, say electricity, they are fail part on road and traffic, they are fail in part of whatever Kudadan which is created in that particular segment. So I think BJP is just trying, they are so desperate. They are just trying to frame one or another. And recently, they were so, they were keen that Manish Sisodiya did this, that. He was, accused number 1 in BJP thing. And now what is the charge sheet? Charge sheet there is no name of Manish Sisodiya. So I think they have lost. Nothing else. They have lost.
So is it desperation, Vineet Goenka?
Desperation, yes. I'm sure that it's nothing but the desperation which is related to.
Let the BJP respond to this.
Can I speak, sir? The question is for me.
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, we can see the desperation because they don't send their official spokesperson on your debates, and they have been represented by proxies. But anyway, let me give a specific answer. And when Mr. Trivedi would like to read this, and if he has a pen and paper, he can write down. The date is 1st February 2019. I repeat once again on your debate, 1st February 2019. Times of India. It is not a newspaper run by any political party. 1,55,436 students failed in 8th, 9th class of Delhi schools. They were deliberately been pushed out of the system so that they can satisfy their false ego of artificial statistics, which was, chosen over the fundamental right of the students. Only 52,000 students were readmitted, throwing out 1,02,854 students of one academic year. In one academic year, more than 1 lakh students were thrown out of the educational system. This is not a mandate of MCD. This is mandate of state government. Yet MCD took them. There was no funds to MCD. Yet MCD took them because, students' future cannot be compromised. So, sir, where they choose artificial statistics, they throw students out. We took them. Number two, I'll give you another example. In the peak of the COVID, when Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal was crying howl on oxygen, they deliberately chose to choke funds of MCD so that sweepers, the Safai Mitras of the MCDs, coming from Valmiki Samaj, Dalit Samaj, are not paid salaries.
Okay, Irsan,
Irsan,
respond, because those are specific charges that are coming
and
against
we
the
did
Aam Aadmi
13,000
Party.
Safai Mitras were permanent.
Okay.
So please, Mr. Analyst Proxy Aam Aadmi Party, please tell me.
Okay,
I've given you
Irsan.
2 examples. You want me to answer the
Sir,
third
what
one? The amount of
allegation
the
you are
garbage?
talking
Yes,
about?
sir. We collected
Sir, we have
garbage
lost-
from door to
sir, we
door.
have lost
We
many
collected
people, sir.
garbage
I'm
from
a
door to
doctor.
door.
I saw
60%
not many
of the
people
houses
died
of the
in
and so the
Gujarat
amounts have
also
come up.
because of
We are
lack of
proud of
oxygen.
that we are collecting it from your house.
Sir,
We are doing
I mean,
our
we have
duties
lost-
diligently.
I mean, like, we have
Sir,
lost
let
so
me
many
continue.
lives in-
Let me
you
give
know,
you more
you know,
example.
recently
Let me give you more
150
example. Sir,
people
sir,
died
please
in,
hold on.
liquor gate in Gujarat,
Please hold on,
and
sir. Please
135
hold on.
people
Please
died
hold
in
on.
Morbi.
7.5 lakh street lights
Sir,
were being
there was,
deployed.
I mean, like, oh,
60%
now
of
you
that
are
on
just trying
solar
to put
energy,
in
so
a
that
number
140
game.
crore
Sir,
rupees of the
many
MCD
people
can be
died in
saved.
Gujarat. What you are
Please,
gonna
sir,
say
and
about
that
that?
was a time when Arvind Kejriwal was
Sir,
spending
sir,
10
what you
crore
are going to
rupees
say
to
about that?
renovate
I mean,
his
at the time, there
home
was no
swimming pool.
oxygen which was
Shame on
provided by
him,
state
sir.
government. There
His
was no,
ministers are
oxygen
involved
provided by
in
central
liquor
government.
gate. They use massage
So
by
what
rapists.
you are going to do? I
We
mean, for the
serve these
legal
people,
gate,
sir.
150 plus people died in Barwala. Do you have any comment on that? Or you are just, I mean, you are just talking bluffish in the particular death of some people. What will you speak about Morbi people? They died, sir.
Sir,
They died.
Sir, let's talk about MCD. I have given you data. You have MCD's data. Please tell me, did you stop salaries of the sweepers?
No, we didn't.
Tell me, please.
No, we
Did you
didn't.
take money from the liquor
We
gate
were so much,
scam?
I mean, like, we were telling
Did you
to
take that?
the
Did you
central
promise
government.
CCTV to us? Did you
Yeah,
promise
no. I
Yamuna
mean,
to us?
you are completely lying.
Sir,
You are
please, sir.
completely lying.
When
Arvind
you
Kejriwal
know
wrote
that
the
your
letter to
ministers are
LG
involved.
and
Let me tell you.
Honorable Prime Minister to
By
do
tackling, you will not be
needful for
achieving the
the
things which you
salarized
want to do.
people, I mean, to
Let me tell
regularize
you,
the salary. Arvind Kejriwal
Maria,
did that. BJP government did
Tahir
not do
Hussain,
anything.
Amanatullah Khan involved in writing. Somnath Bharti, wife beating and security man beating. Then we
Sir, now
have
you
this
are just,
Jain who is involved in Hawala
becoming
racket.
particular. I mean, you are
Deputy
becoming
Chief Minister
particular. I mean, you don't have
Sishodia
anything
is
to say on
involved
MCD.
in some other
So you will
case.
target each and every leader. That is
43
what you are doing.
of their people,
That is what
37
you are
elected
doing.
representatives are either in jail or on bail or
you are
FIR
just thinking that
mentioned.
Aam Aadmi Party, each and
It's a
every leader,
gang
they
of
are nothing
goons.
but, I mean, like, just, oh my
All
God.
right,
I mean, you
Vineet
don't have
Goenka and
anything to say on
Shantrivedi, thank you
MCD, so
so
you will
much
target
for
each and
joining
every...
us. We are shifting focus. But before that, there is going to be a short break. As India aims to revamp its digital infrastructure to make data more secure, we'll be joined by Minister of State for Information Technology, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, on the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2022. That exclusive chat after a short break. Stay with us.
If you see the quantum of the scam, it's much, much higher what BJP is alleging, and we have the proof of that. I mean, the role of Babbar and Babbar company, the role of the people, the contractors which have been given the contracts, these has to be investigated thoroughly. And I think the actual kingpin of this whole scam is Arvind Kejriwal and Sudhindra Jain and Manish Sisodia.
Mr. Khurana, I would also like you to elaborate on how your party really found out that these irregularities were taking place, because you had first raised these allegations in August, if I'm not wrong.
See, first of all, this whole scam was started when the agency was being hired for constructing or giving the design and everything with the Babbar and Babbar Associates. They have been given a contract without any tender. I mean, without he's a private person, and with the report also says that he's been appointed as a consultant, not only attending a crucial meeting but influence the post tender from the minister also. The scam started over there from the Babbar and Babbar Associates, and has gone up to level that the amount of which sanction amount of the tender has gone escalated like anything. It has gone so much high the quantum of the money which has been allocated by the Vigilance Department is around about 1,300 crores of only 2,000 odd classrooms what we're talking about.
And how do you
So,
think this...
you-
Sorry, continue.
Sorry?
Sorry, please continue.
No, so, I mean, if you see, but the actual construction, they're in two phases now. First phase was about 9,000 odd classrooms, and the second phase was 11,000 odd classrooms. So the classrooms, the 21,000 odd classrooms have been constructed. So if you see, this kind of pattern will be continued in further construction also. Then the quantum will go in thousands and thousands of crores.
Absolutely. Mr. Khurana, I would like you to stay with us because we're also being joined by Mr. R.P. Singh of the BJP. Mr. R.P. Singh, we've just spoken to Harish Khurana about this new report about the classroom scam. There are pretty scathing findings. What has been recommended is a detailed probe. Could we have your reaction to this as well?
Well, it is a scam of a kind. I mean, where classroom which could have been built in 5 lakh rupees or less than that, have been almost 30 lakh rupees were spent on each classroom, and then even toilets were shown as the classroom. So it's a scam of the kind, and probably the model which they were presenting to the country, saying that we are the best education model. If this is the best education model, then God bless Delhi and God bless the country wherever they go and contest election. So obviously there need to be a complete vigilance inquiry into it and detailed inquiry into the complete subject. The initial report indicates that yes, there's a scam in it, and we are hopeful that LG will soon recommend the detailed inquiry into it, and then all those who are involved into it, and whether it's Mr. Sisodia or anyone else, they will be convicted and then will be held responsible.
The Directorate of Vigilance of the Delhi government has finalized and submitted its report to the Chief Secretary in the matter of grave irregularities and corruption by the Arvind Kejriwal government in the construction of 2,405 classrooms in 193 schools. The DOV report underlines towards a major scam and has recommended a detailed investigation by a specialized agency. The Vigilance Department has also recommended fixing the responsibilities of the concerned officials of the Education Department and the PWD who were involved in the bungling to the tune of nearly 1,300 crore rupees. It has also recommended to forward its findings along with the replies of the PWD and Education Department to the CVC for consideration. I'm crossing over to our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh to get us more. Pallavi, how is this going to impact the AAP? Tell us more.
Well, I mean, as you pointed out, these are very glaring accusations and allegations against the Delhi government. And, you know, their flagship program of education is something which has always been projected by the Delhi government and the Chief Minister as being the main reason why people are supporting the Aam Aadmi Party. You pointed out, but there's one more point which is there in the vigilance report, and that also talks about how private entities, and they take a name of one specifically of
Last week, the Government of India unveiled its latest attempt at data protection legislation. The draft of the Digital Data Protection Bill, Personal Data Protection Bill 2022 is now open for the public comments, and the government is expecting to introduce it in the upcoming budget session. The latest draft is the fourth idea of the data protection law in India. With 760 million active internet users, privacy has remained a thorny issue in India. It was only after the Supreme Court ruled that privacy is a fundamental individual right that the government seems to have given more teeth to data protection. But with the nascent state of India's digital infrastructure, the issue of security and pooling of powers with the centre has raised red flags. To decode the government's agenda, we are being joined by Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Minister of State for Information Technology. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, really appreciate your time. The simplified 24-page bill has already received a barrage of criticism, I would say, for removing or diluting many of the previously proposed provisions that provided better safeguards to privacy and introducing ones that will do more harm.
Well, I politely disagree, Maria. I think these are all, first of all, I don't think there's been a barrage of criticism. I think there are certain people who have a certain view on what this legislation should be, and they have made their views known to us. This is, as you know, the bill is undergoing consultation, and everybody is entitled to express his or her view on what should be in the bill and what should not be in the bill. As to the point about whether this bill is equal to GDPR, better than GDPR, I want to make it very clear that India is charting its own course in terms of its digital economy. It is charting its own course of framework of laws and rules that we believe are appropriate for our ecosystem and for our people and for our businesses and startups and our government. And so we have absolutely no hesitation in saying that we have never intended to be like the GDPR. We do not want it to be like the GDPR, because India is an extremely different digital economy compared to Europe or indeed any part of the world. So we are not in any way hesitating to say that we have charted our own course in terms of what the legislation should be and the framework should be.
Okay, tell me, sir, why does this bill not have the distinction between sensitive personal data and critical personal data? Also, the criticism is on the regulator, that the Data Protection Board is not independent and hence being termed as fully under government control.
So anyway, Maria, first of all, the reason why there is no distinction between critical, sensitive is that we have put all personal data as being equally important. We do not believe that critical data or sensitive personal data should be treated by way of a consumer any differently from the broad swath of identifiable personal data. So we have made it actually better for the consumer by saying that all personal data, it is the obligation of big tech and large companies to protect all personal data of Indian citizens. So there is no attempt at saying you should only protect critical data or you should only protect sensitive data. We are saying for an Indian citizen, all of his or her data is equally important, and therefore it is an obligation of a data fiduciary or a platform to protect that data, and any breach of any data will be a breach under the law. That is number one. In terms of this Data Protection Board regulator argument, Maria, the Data Protection Board is not a regulator. The Data Protection Board under this act does a very specific normal function, very narrow function, which is to adjudicate the damages or the consequences of a breach or a violation of the law by a big tech data platform versus the data principal, the citizen. So this is never meant to be a regulator. It is an absolutely clearly defined narrow functionality of adjudicating disputes, adjudicating the consequences of a breach, and levying penalties on those companies or those platforms that do not fulfill their obligations of protecting consumer data as they have to do under the law.
So what will you tell those who are saying that the government has given itself overriding powers and the individual privacy stands compromised?
Okay, Maria, look, let's be clear that privacy is a fundamental right and which is subject to restrictions. And the restrictions here are very reasonable. The restrictions that the government can use personal data in the event of a security issue, in the case of a issue of a health pandemic, in the case of an issue of a natural disaster. These are all circumstances under which the government can access data, because you cannot be going around at that time and seeking consent of patients or consent of citizens. It's an absolutely very reasonable restriction to the data protection rights of the consumer. And I don't know why people deliberately obfuscate this issue and distort this issue for what it is not. The government has reasonable rights. Every fundamental right, including the right to free speech, under 19(2), it has reasonable restrictions, and so does the consumer's right to data protection.
Okay, one view is that this data protection bill is expected from a country in the mid-2000s, not the current India. You have tried to be seen as pro-corporate, but the bill actually sets up a huge crisis for India's tech and outsourcing industry. It categorically says that non-residents get no data protection rights.
Maria, look, lot of this is quite bizarre. I mean, I think these kind of statements are just swinging at a ball and hoping that something will go for a six and hit somebody. But none of these things have any legs to stand on, because this is a bill that makes the misuse of data that is very, very prevalent in amongst big tech companies, amongst foreign companies and Indian companies. The misuse of data, misuse of consumers' data will come to an absolute halt, because the consequences of misusing data by corporates is onerous. The financial penalties that are going to be levied on them are going to be significant. So therefore, anybody who's trying to characterize this bill as being pro-corporate or a consequence of corporate lobbying has not understood the bill, has not read the bill. Number one. Number two, we of course are very keen to make sure that no legislation in the digital ecosystem creates a compliance burden, makes it difficult for our young startups and young innovators. This is not an issue that we are shy of saying. We are determined to make sure every legislation in our digital ecosystem, whether they are the IT rules or whether it is the DPDP bill or the forthcoming DIA, further catalyzes innovation, further grows startups and achieves the $1 trillion digital economy that our Prime Minister has set as our target.
Okay. My last question to you, sir. Is this bill consistent with what the Apex Court has ruled, particularly in the context of privacy? You have been a petitioner yourself in the case as a member of parliament.
Oh, absolutely. I can assure you, Maria, that I was one of the petitioners in the Supreme Court when none of these so-called experts who are now commenting on privacy were anywhere in that in the scene. I fought for privacy, and I believe privacy is an absolute must in this fast-growing digital ecosystem. And this bill meets absolutely the tests of legality, necessity and proportionality that the Supreme Court laid down in the Puttaswamy judgment. It casts reasonable restrictions. It gives the government powers to use data in these exceptional circumstances. It gives the innovation ecosystem compliance not intensive, compliance not heavy legal framework, and it completely puts a stop to the practice of misuse and abuse of personal data by big tech, and protects the data of our Indian consumers in a manner that is modern, that is evolvable, and that as things evolve in the digital ecosystem and more innovations occur, the bill has the ability to evolve and keep in pace with the changes rather than having to be hard-coded and being permanent for today and then having to be changed down the road. So I think this is a modern piece of legislation. This sets the benchmark in terms of how legislation should be drafted and built for the digital ecosystem, the changing ecosystem, and it protects the Indian citizens, it protects Indian business, and I'm very confident that it will be a catalyst for India Tech-Ed mission and vision for us in terms of investments and jobs going forward.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Rajiv Chandrasekhar. This bill, of course, will be tabled in the upcoming budget session of Parliament. The government has put it out in the public domain. There are a lot of criticism that is coming, particularly from multiple stakeholders. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.
Constructing or giving the design and everything with the Babbar and Babbar associates, they have been given a contract without any tender. I mean, without he's a private person, and with the report also says that he's been appointed as a consultant, not only attending a crucial meeting but influence the post tender from the minister also. The scam started over there. From the Babbar and Babbar Associate, and has gone up to level that the amount of which sanction amount of the tender has gone escalated like anything. It has gone so much high that the quantum of the money which has been allocated by the Vigilance Department is around about 1,300 crores of only 2,000 odd classrooms what we are talking about.
And how do you think this... Sorry, continue.
Sorry?
Sorry, please continue.
No, so, I mean, if you see, but the actual construction, they're in two phases now. First phase was about 9,000 odd classrooms, and the second phase was 11,000 odd classrooms. So the classroom, the 21,000 odd classrooms have been constructed. So if you see, this kind of pattern will be continued in further construction also. Then the quantum will go in thousands and thousands of crores.
Absolutely, Mr. Khurana. I would like you to stay with us because we're also being joined by Mr. R.P. Singh of the BJP. Mr. R.P. Singh, we've just spoken to Harish Khurana about this new report about the classroom scam. There are pretty scathing findings. What has been recommended is a detailed probe. Could we have your reaction to this as well?
Well, it is a scam of a kind. I mean, where classroom which could have been built in 5 lakh rupees or less than that have been almost 30 lakh rupees were spent on each classroom, and then even toilets were shown as the classroom. So it's a scam of the kind, and probably the model which they were presenting to the country, saying that we are the best education model. If this is the best education model, then God bless Delhi and God bless the country wherever they go and contest election. So obviously there need to be a complete vigilance inquiry into it and detailed inquiry into the complete subject. The initial report indicates that yes, there's a scam in it, and we are hopeful that LG will soon recommend the detailed inquiry into it, and then all those who are involved into it, and whether it's Mr. Sisodia or anyone else, they will be convicted and then will be held responsible.
The Directorate of Vigilance of the Delhi government has finalized and submitted its report to the Chief Secretary in the matter of grave irregularities and corruption by the Arvind Kejriwal government in the construction of 2,405 classrooms in 193 schools. The DOV report underlines towards a
Sanjay, let me start with you first. The words that Ashok Gehlot used for Sachin Pilot in the last few days, Nalayak, Nikamma and Gaddar. Surely no politician worth his salt wants to be referred by these words, and that too at a time when Bharat Jodo is all set to enter Rajasthan in the next week. You have to unmute, Sanjay. You have to unmute, please.
Zaka, can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Well, it is pretty obvious that Mr. Gehlot seems to be highly disturbed at the moment. I mean, of course, he's used pretty nasty and vulgar words against Sachin even earlier. You rattled off some of them. But currently, I think the provocation is very straightforward. He has got the message, I think, subtle, oblique, or very upfront, I don't know, that he is likely to be replaced as the Rajasthan Chief Minister. I have my own, sources that tell me that Sachin is the preferred candidate. It's already been a belated decision, not yet taken. And he will probably be the chief ministerial face for the Congress in 2023. And Mr. Gehlot, who's committed political harakiri by actually, creating an internal rebellion within the Congress when the Congress president elections were coming up, has at the moment ostracized himself. He's like a pariah.
Hello and welcome to the late night edition with me, Ayushman Singh Jamwal. Breaking news coming in, where CNN News 18 has accessed exclusive details when it comes to the Ram Mandir project. Now, as the construction of the Ram Mandir continues, CNN News 18 has accessed exclusive details where the Ram Temple Trust will prepare a film on the history of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi and the construction of the temple. Amitabh Bachchan has been requested to lend his voice in narrating the story. A committee has been set up to oversee the film from script to the final product. Now, members include Prasoon Joshi, Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi, Yatindra Mishra and Sachid Anand Joshi. Now, as per the temple work, 20% work on the ground floor has been completed. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. Exclusive details accessed by CNN News 18 when it comes to the entire Ram Mandir project. What we are learning is that the Ram Temple Trust will prepare a film on the history of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi and construction of the temple. Amitabh Bachchan has been requested to lend his voice in narrating the entire story. So Amitabh Bachchan has been requested to join this entire project. Now, a committee has been set up to oversee the film from script to the final product. Now, the members of this committee to make this film include Prasoon Joshi, Dr. Chandraprakash Dwivedi, Yatindra Mishra and Sachid Anand Joshi. When it comes to temple work, remember this is a grand project. 20% work on the ground floor has been completed. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in on CNN News 18 when it comes to developing the grand Ram Mandir project. Now, along with creating the entire complex, what we are learning is that the Temple Trust has also set up a committee when it comes to creating a film on the entire construction. That's the big piece of breaking news coming in on CNN News 18. We'll continue to track all the developments which are coming in, but let's shift focus now. The political tussle between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot seems to have intensified again, with Gehlot openly attacking Pilot and his supporters. Now, Gehlot has said that Pilot can try, but he will never become the chief minister. He also called Pilot a traitor and accused him of planning to change the leadership before the Bharat Jodo Yatra enters Rajasthan. Pilot hit back at the Chief Minister, saying it is unbecoming of someone like Gehlot to be vindictive. Meanwhile, Pilot was seen with Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi as the Yatra entered Madhya Pradesh. Sources have told CNN News 18 that Pilot's supporters are expecting a decision from the High Command anytime soon. His supporters want the Gandhis to fulfill their commitment and make Pilot the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. The Bharat Jodo Yatra, remember, is slated to enter Rajasthan on the 3rd of December.
Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot are once again at loggerheads. This time, the battle has intensified just days ahead of the Bharat Jodo Yatra entering Rajasthan. It all started during a rally in Savai Madhopur. While addressing the rally, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot openly attacked Sachin Pilot. He reminded everyone of Pilot's 2020 rebellion and even called him a traitor.
हम चाहेंगे कि इस बार सगा रिपीट हो हमारी, आप रिपीट करो। जिस प्रकार षड्यंत्र किया गया वो षड्यंत्र बीजेपी का था। आप बताइए 19 विधायकों से जिस प्रकार से उनको ले गए, मानेसर के अंदर ले गए, 34 दिन तक भुगता हम लोगों ने होटलों के अंदर। 35 करोड़, 30 करोड़, 25 करोड़ उससे ज्यादा भी ऑफर करते कहीं कहीं पर।
Sachin Pilot, on his part, didn't hold back either. He believes that comments made by Gehlot were completely unnecessary and called the allegations against him baseless. Pilot went on to say that nothing is permanent in politics, as Congress has lost twice under Gehlot's leadership.
The Bharatiya Janata Party was squarely defeated in Rajasthan when I was the Congress Party president. And Ashok Gehlot ji has been Chief Minister twice. Both times under his leadership, the Congress Party lost badly. Despite that, when we won in 2018, the leadership in the Congress Party decided that he should become CM for the 3rd time. And we all agreed to that.
Senior Congress leaders are trying to douse the fire in Rajasthan ahead of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. The Grand Old Party called the conflict rhetoric and asked them to resolve the issue at the organizational level.
अलग-अलग विचार के लोग हैं, पर हम कांग्रेस पार्टी के सदस्य हैं। कांग्रेस पार्टी के अंदर कोई भय का माहौल नहीं है, कोई डर का माहौल नहीं है। लोग अपने आप जो अपने मन में है, अपनी बात, मन की बात बोल देते हैं, कभी-कभी पार्टी के अंदर, कभी-कभी मीडिया के द्वारा।
Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra is scheduled to enter Rajasthan on the 3rd of December. But Congress's state unit is scrambling to put up a united face. The situation was similar in Punjab, when Navjot Singh Sidhu and Captain Amarinder Singh stood against each other. That infighting eventually led to Congress's rout in the state. Now with infighting intensifying in Rajasthan, which is going into polls next year, will the Congress lose another state?
And shifting focus, the land dispute between Maharashtra and Karnataka continues to rage. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has said that no one, including the Karnataka Chief Minister, can make any claim on the disputed villages between the two states. Fadnavis further said that they have been fighting in the Supreme Court for a long time to get back Marathi-speaking areas like Belgaum, Nipani and Karwar from Karnataka. Reacting to the comment, Bommai labelled Fadnavis' statement as provocative. Anger continues to spill onto the streets as the border tensions continue to escalate.
Maharashtra and Karnataka are once again at loggerheads. The battle for Belagavi was reignited after Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai claimed that few villages under the Sangli district of Maharashtra were part of his state. Bommai's statement created a massive controversy in Maharashtra. The NCP asked the Maharashtra government to clarify their stand. The Uddhav faction even took a swipe at Eknath Shinde, claiming that he lacked courage to speak against his Karnataka counterpart.
हमारे जो पड़ोसी राज्य है उसके जो मुख्यमंत्री है बोमई ऐसे लगता है कि उनके शरीर में भूत ने प्रवेश किया है अंगद भूत है तो म्हणतो ना और क्या कैसे पता नहीं हमारे 40 गांव पर उन्होंने दावा ठोक दिया और ये ऐसी कोई भी आएगा और हमारे खिलाफ कुछ भी बकते चले जाएगा ये अभी बर्दाश्त नहीं होगा.
Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, made it clear that they were committed to acquire the Marathi-speaking villages along the border, including Belagavi.
त्यामुळे त्यांनी काही दावा ठोकला तरी देखील महाराष्ट्रातलं एकही गाव जाणार नाही आणि आमचा सीमा भाग आम्हाला परत मिळेल ही मला अपेक्षा आहे.
Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai labelled Fadnavis' statement as provocative. He claimed that they're ready for a legal battle against Maharashtra.
Our first priority is to fight a legal battle because ultimately when the case is pending in Supreme Court.
The Maharashtra-Karnataka border dispute goes back to 1960, when both the states were formed. Since then, Maharashtra has staked claim over 865 Marathi-speaking villages along the border, and Karnataka has asserted rights over 260 Kannada-speaking villages. But has the dispute been reignited just because of assembly elections in Karnataka? That's the question many are asking.
And breaking news coming in, tensions continue to escalate between Maharashtra and Karnataka amid the border dispute after members of the Thakre Sena vandalized buses in Kolhapur. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's posters have been defaced in Mumbai. That's the piece of breaking news that's coming in. More visuals coming in of the posters being defaced in Mumbai. We'll put those on our screen in just a bit. But what we are learning is that the tensions continue between both the sides, where Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's posters have now been defaced in the city of Mumbai. So this entire tussle now shifting to the maximum city of Mumbai as well. Those visuals on your screen. What we have seen today is that vandalism has taken place in Kolhapur, where you can see those workers of the Thakre faction of the Shiv Sena writing Jai Maharashtra on state transport buses of Karnataka. Then you have vandalism in Kalaburgi, and then on the extreme right you see the vandalism in Mumbai, where posters of Basavaraj Bommai have been defaced. I'm joined by my colleague Mihir Trivedi on the phone line. Mihir, so the tensions continue to escalate on both sides, where politicians are only stoking the fire when it comes to the border dispute.
Absolutely. Nobody is trying to really douse the fire at this point or settle the issue. But there have been statements, anti-statements, and we have seen protests as well as agitation and in some cases vandalism, like you mentioned. Buses were in a sense vandalized by Shiv Senics, and now we see these posters of Karnataka CM being defaced. So clearly a signal going out to the state of Karnataka and the leadership there that Maharashtra and the leadership here, be it the party in power or other parties, they will not take this issue lightly. They have been severely upset by whatever is being said, and clearly they are showing their anger and resentment in this way. Now what we are seeing is that nobody is really trying to broker peace between the raging controversy and the arguments and statements and counter statements that are coming from both sides of the state. But it is only escalating, and we are seeing in some cases the tension is also rising. In fact, Shiv Sena has been very vocal about it and very critical about what the CM of Karnataka has said, and clearly they are showing their anger through acts of vandalism, which we are seeing on the screens at this point.
Right, and Mihir, at the same time, you have two states, one with the BJP government, one with the coalition government between the BJP and the Shinde faction. Any indication coming in that the BJP will call in the two chief ministers, and one side there's a deputy chief minister, one side the chief minister, to ensure that this entire situation is diffused? Or do you think that they want to play out this entire tussle to play to their galleries in their respective states?
Some would say that maybe elections are just around the corner, and that's why we are seeing this kind of a protest and this kind of statements and this controversy, which is an age-old controversy as far as the two states are concerned, be it Karnataka or Maharashtra. this is there is a decision pending in court as far as this border dispute is concerned, but we are seeing some new angles being added to it. At this point, remember both sides, be it Karnataka or Maharashtra, are both BJP ruled states, but nobody's really stepped in and tried to diffuse the raging controversy and the kind of resentment and anger that we are seeing from either side, especially in Maharashtra, where not only leaders of the party in power, be it Devendra Fadnavis or others, have spoken and been very vocal about the fact that they will not give up or not sacrifice or not let any part of Maharashtra be compromised or given to Karnataka. But we are not seeing any statements that will really diffuse this. On the other hand, there has been no statement come out from the leadership or the BJP, which could, in a sense, broker peace and try to, diffuse the situation,
right.
and just end this controversy.
Right. Thank you, Meher, for joining us on the phone line. So the tussle continues between Karnataka and Maharashtra. Even though BJP is a prime stakeholder in both states, it seems that the leaders on both sides are playing to their galleries, and tensions continue at the border, as we can see those visuals on your screen. Vandalism in Kolhapur, Kalaburgi, and now in Mumbai. Let's shift focus to some breaking news we're getting from Jammu and Kashmir now, where the crackdown on terror continues. One IED has been seized and destroyed by the security forces in the district of Shopian. Now, terrorists plotted to target the security forces with this IED. Those visuals on your screen of the IED being detonated by the security forces after it was seized. I'm joined by my colleague Tejinder Singh Sodhi on the broadcast. Tejinder, give us the details. A major attack averted by the security forces.
Indeed, Ayushman, this is the second such terror attack that has been averted in rather today itself. Earlier this morning, the security forces, they detected an IED planted in a minibus in the Ramban district of Jammu and Kashmir, which was later safely destroyed by the security forces. And now, in the evening, another IED was planted by terrorists in a pressure cooker in the Imam Sahab area of Shopian. This IED was timely detected, and now, as you can see in these visuals, that it was safely destroyed by the security forces. The aim of this IED was to target the security forces convoy which passes through the area, so it's a major success. Earlier this morning, the IED that was detected in the Ramban area, it was in a minibus, and the potential target of that IED was the civilian population traveling in that minibus in the Doda Ramban area. But this IED, which was planted inside a pressure cooker in the Imam Sahab area of the Shopian district, was planted to target security forces. Right now, the entire area has been cordoned off, and a massive manhunt has already been launched by various security agencies to find the terrorists who planted this IED. Yes, Ayushman.
Right. And any indication coming in what terror group is behind this entire conspiracy of planting these IEDs in and around these terror-prone districts?
See, Ayushman, in the recent past, we have seen that these attempts to target the security forces by planting IEDs seems to be the handiwork of either the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit or the Lashkar-e-Toiba terror outfit. So both these terror outfits, they have adopted this modus operandi of planting IEDs. If you remember, just last month, two steel IEDs were planted inside two different buses in Udhampur area, and that turned out that it was the handiwork of the Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit. Given the fact that in the recent past there have been several drone droppings, and the items that were recovered from those consignments included several steel IEDs, right, sticky bombs. So clearly the focus of the terror outfits from across is to send large number of IEDs so that there is a maximum damage to the target and least casualty of the terrorists who plant these IEDs. Yes, Ayushman.
Right. Thank you, Tejinder, for getting us that piece of breaking news. So a major attack has been averted by the security forces. Now shifting focus to our top international story, where Ukraine's resistance to Russian occupation continues. Now, many citizens in Kherson have formed a shadow force to target Russians behind enemy lines. CNN's Sam Kiley gets us this report. That's all from me. Good night and take care.
Archie killed twice while he was still a teenager.
If I'm the guy, he stops to pee, so I'm having a pee, and then what do you do? Boom. Oh, God, I got a chill then.
He says he left his victim to bleed on the grass in the pitch dark. Archie struck again moments later. Another drunk Russian soldier. Another throat cut. He acted alone, but now he was one of Kherson's resistance fighters.
They were wasted. It had only been a few days since they entered the city. I finished the first one immediately and then caught up with the other one and killed him on the spot. I threw away the knife and the jacket covered with blood and just left.
Archie was only 19 when the Russians captured his city in March. With a friend, he says he drove around the city gathering intelligence to send to Ukraine's armed forces.
At least 10 Russians were slaughtered every night. I wasn't the only one in Kherson. There were a lot of athletic and clever partisan guys.
For 8 months, Ukrainian partisans waged a psychological war against the occupiers and their collaborators, targeting Ukrainians who took top posts handed out by Russia.
As a result of a sneaky terrorist act, today our colleague, my friend Dmitry Savlychenko, has died.
Strumusov himself would die in the final days of Russia's occupation of Kherson city, which ended 3 weeks ago. Kherson was the only regional capital to fall to Russia, but its population made sure that the invaders were unwelcome from the start.
That's incoming. In the last hour or so that we've been here in Kherson, there's been a constant shelling backwards and forwards. Almost all of that shelling will ultimately rely on somebody on the ground telling the gunner where to drop those bombs.
Ihor's a young father. This warehouse is wrecked because of him.
The Russian military kept here around 20 to 30 vehicles. There were armored trucks, APCs, and the Russians lived here. I was passing by this place and I saw all the vehicles.
Ihor communicated on his phone app with his handler, codename The Smoke.
I turned on the camera and pointed it at the building, and I was just walking and talking on the phone, and the camera was filming. I deleted the video, of course, because if they would stop me somewhere and check my videos and pictures, there would be questions.
Less than a day later, he says, Russian vehicles were a mangled mess as Ukraine rained missiles down on the newly identified target. It was a crucial step in destroying Russia's capacity to hold on to the city. With the Russians now massed on the eastern side of the Dnipro River, they're close and still control 60% of the province, which they claim is now part of Russia. No doubt there are many Ukrainians among them who are also prepared to prove them wrong and to kill.
Do you feel sorry for the guys you killed at all?
Нет. No.
The last few days, Nalayak, Nikamma and Gaddar. Surely no politician worth his salt wants to be referred by these words, and that too at a time when Bharat Jodo is all set to enter Rajasthan in the next week. You have to unmute, Sanjay. You have to unmute, please.
Zaka, can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Well, it is pretty obvious that Mr. Gehlot seems to be highly disturbed at the moment. Of course, he's used pretty nasty and vulgar words against Sachin even earlier. You rattled off some of them. But currently, I think the provocation is very straightforward. He has got the message, I think, subtle, oblique, or very upfront, I don't know, that he is likely to be replaced as the Rajasthan chief minister. I have my own, sources that tell me that Sachin is the preferred candidate. It's already been a belated decision, not yet taken. And he will probably be the chief ministerial face for the Congress in 2023. And Mr. Gehlot, who's committed political harakiri by actually, creating an internal rebellion within the Congress when the Congress president elections were coming up, has at the moment ostracized himself. He's like a pariah within the core Congress think tank. The Gandhi family doesn't trust him anymore.
But Sanjay, two things. Sanjay, two things. One is that Mr. Gehlot still has the numbers in Rajasthan.